Deep in the frozen forests of the north, where silence mingles with the howl of the wind and the snow never melts, lurks a creature born of the most atrocious desperation and hunger. They say that if you hear its howl in the forest, it's already too late. The Wendigo is a creature from the Native American legends of North America, a being that dwells in the shadows of the pines and feeds on the fear of the unwary who venture into its territory. More than just a myth, it is a curse that hangs over those who cross the boundaries of sanity in the most inhospitable lands. Tall, skeletal, with sunken eyes and skin as pale as death itself, the Wendigo is characterized by its terrifying appearance and insatiable hunger. Its bony body soars high above the treetops, with long twisted limbs ending in razor-sharp claws. Its face, a mask of frozen horror, displays jaws filled with razor-sharp teeth, ready to tear at the flesh of its victims. Ancient indigenous peoples spoke in whispers of this evil spirit, warning their children of the dangers of greed and cannibalism. According to legend, the Wendigo is born when a human, facing starvation in the harsh northern lands, succumbs to the temptation of consuming human flesh. It is in that moment of weakness that the Wendigo's spirit takes over the soul of the unfortunate, transforming it into an insatiable beast. The transformation is a painful and terrifying process. The affected person's skin hardens into an impenetrable shell. Their nails lengthen into lethal claws, and in some versions of the legend, enormous elk antlers sprout from their skull, crowning their monstrous appearance. But the most terrible thing is not the physical change, but the total loss of humanity, replaced by an eternal hunger that no feast can sat. Once the Wendigo has set its sights on you, there is no escape. Its presence manifests itself first as a feeling of unease, a chill that runs down your spine even on the warmest nights. Then come the sounds, creaking in the darkness, heavy breathing that seems to come from everywhere and nowhere at once. And finally, when it is too late to flee, the beast appears in all its terrifying glory. The Wendigo doesn't just kill its victims, it transforms them. Those who survive its initial attack are doomed to become what they fear most, thus perpetuating the cycle of horror and despair. It is a curse that spreads like a plague, feeding on the fear and loneliness of the winter woods. Some claim to have seen the Wendigo lurking in the shadows of the trees, its skeletal form silhouetted against the full moon. Others swear they have heard its piercing howl on the coldest nights, a sound that chills the blood and paralyzes the heart. But few have survived to recount their face-to-face encounter with the beast. A hunter disappeared in a storm a few winters ago, venturing deep into the forest in search of prey. Days later, a rescue party found only human remains scattered in the snow, along with enormous footprints that did not belong to any known animal. The marks on the bones spoke of superhuman strength and a voracious hunger. No one dared venture further in search of the lost hunter, fearing they would find something worse than death. Stories about the Wendigo have been passed down from generation to generation, serving as a warning about the dangers of greed and despair. But beyond their function as moral fable, these legends speak of a primordial terror that dwells deep within us. The fear of losing our humanity, of becoming monsters guided only by our most basic instincts. On long winter nights, when the wind howls through the trees and darkness seems to engulf the world, it's easy to imagine the Wendigo prowling the woods, always hungry, always on the prowl. Its legend persists because it strikes a chord in our subconscious, reminding us of the fine line that separates civilization from barbarism. Some skeptics argue that the Wendigo is nothing more than a personification of the hunger and madness that can overtake a person under extreme conditions. Others, however, firmly believe in its existence, warning travelers of the dangers of venturing into certain forests or mountains where the creature is said to reside. The truth is that whether myth or reality, the Wendigo has left an indelible mark on the culture and folklore of the northern regions. Its image has been depicted in countless works of art, literature, and film, each version adding new details to its already terrifying legend. But perhaps most disturbing of all is the persistence of unexplained sightings and experiences in the areas where the Wendigo is said to lurk. Experienced hikers swear they've felt an evil presence following them in the dark. Entire villages remain silent about certain parts of the forest, refusing to discuss the disappearances that occur year after year. What if it's not just a legend? What if the Wendigo still lurks in the most remote forests, patiently waiting for its next victim? The next time you venture into the depths of a winter forest, keep your eyes open and your ears alert, because perhaps, in the silence of the night, you will hear the howl of the Wendigo, and by then, it will be too late. The legend of the Wendigo reminds us that there are places in this world where nature still reigns supreme, where ancient fears and superstitions come alive in the darkness. It warns us about the dangers of losing our humanity in the fight for survival, and makes us question the limits of our own morality. So the next time you feel an inexplicable chill, or hear a strange noise in the night, remember, the Wendigo might be closer than you think. Do you dare to learn more about this legendary creature? Or would you prefer to let the mysteries of the forest remain hidden in the shadows? The choice is yours, but remember, once you know the truth about the Wendigo, there is no turning back. Which part of this story made your blood run cold? Leave it in the comments, and tell me what other legends you want us to revive here in Dark World Whispers.